Hi there and welcome. My name is Alfonso Rodriguez Cotes and I am a Microsoft Technical Trainer. In this video, we will explore the different options to better choose your extensibility development plan. And by the end of this module, you will know how to customize Microsoft 365 Copilot, understand the different development tools, and ensure data, privacy, and security. We'll cover choosing the right approach, development tools, extensibility options, and securing your experiences. When it comes to deciding your approach to AI development, there are numerous options to consider, including Microsoft 365 Copilot extensibility and Azure AI solutions. When you are looking to create a fully customized end-to-end AI product to cater to your business needs, you typically choose language models and orchestration for your retrieval augmented generation solutions. However, with Microsoft 365 Copilot, you also have a choice of extending Copilot's private instances of large language models and the Azure OpenAI services. Copilot's LLM is grounded in each tenant's Microsoft 365 graph, so it can work with the documents, messages, and other business contexts people use every day. Maybe you are still wondering, but why to extend Microsoft 365 Copilot? When you customize Microsoft 365 Copilot with agents and extend its skills with plugins and knowledge with connectors, you are leveraging the entire Microsoft 365 ecosystem to extend the reach of your apps, services, and data. And as a developer, you can write once and run anywhere across the growing list of Microsoft 365 host applications for Copilot and integrated apps. Copilot seamlessly integrates your agents, plugins, and connector with its entire list of skills and knowledge, making your integration with Copilot the last one you'll ever have to perform. Your end users will stay in the flow of their work, using the applications and services supporting their workflow as skills and knowledge accessible through Copilot's natural language interface. Business decision makers and IT admins can confidently adopt and centrally manage your enterprise-grade technology, baked with the security and trust of Microsoft's commitment to responsible AI. Now, let's take a look at these example scenarios to understand more about the use cases for Copilot agents. Imagine a world where your employees can serve their needs and depend less on the internal IT help desk for every technical issue they encounter. Or just assume having a team of support agents dedicated to providing your customers adequate and timely support while constantly monitoring and updating customers' live order status. You can increase their productivity by enhancing your existing process with a custom Copilot agent. One more example. Consider an engineering team that relies on project management software. You can build an agent that enables users to monitor open tickets, and for instance, a user can request information on all issues assigned to them, and your agent can seamlessly retrieve and present this data from your API. Also, if your business operates in the realm of commerce, you can build an internal inventory agent by connecting it to your product database. For example, a user can ask Copilot to verify the availability of specific items, streamlining your internal processes. And finally, in a possible scenario where you need images for your marketing, you can create an agent that assists in developing marketing assets specifically tailored to your campaign. Now, let me share my screen with you because I want to explain the process, components, and boundaries of the Microsoft 365 Copilot. Alright, so now that we are talking about the Microsoft 365 Copilot architecture and boundaries, so you can see here in this image that by default, this is the Copilot boundary, right? So everything that is in here is what by default Copilot can do, right? So here we can analyze and see, have a look into some components. Let's say that Copilot is the orchestrator, of many steps that are happening in here, and we'll review in a moment. So these steps in here. But again, Copilot is the orchestrator for performing all these steps, but there is a super important component, which is the large language model. In this case, remember that we are always using the most advanced Azure OpenAI models, the most advanced GPT models, to create those amazing answers, to summarize information for you, to gather information, to create things, etc. Right? And as you can see, it's not Copilot have access to all the information, not just about the information that is inside the GPT model, the Azure OpenAI model. You remember that these large language models carry all the information that has the internet, because they have been trained with all the internet information, but also Copilot can perform some magic because can access to Microsoft Graph to gather all your internal information within your Microsoft 365 ecosystem. It is Teams, Word, Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, and more, right? So the boundary here is your Microsoft 365 tenant. But how Copilot works? So Copilot, everything starts, this is the first step, so this is the data flow. So everything starts with a user prompt that is sent to Copilot. For example, summarize my last emails. And then Copilot will allow the LLM to provide you an answer, but before is performing some steps, which is grounding and post-processing. With grounding, what Copilot is actually doing is this second step here. So it's going to the graph, and then what it's going to do is to have a look into all your Microsoft 365 services and information, and will process the prompt. And as you can see here, this is an example of how Copilot can do that. So for example, when I ask Copilot to summarize my last emails, and Copilot, you see that provides me that answer, actually that grounding and processing process, what it really means is that behind the scenes is going to modify the prompt. So the prompt that I'm sending here, summarize the emails I received last week. This is the prompt I have introduced here. So this answer is not based on that prompt. This answer is based on an augmented prompt. This augmented and grounded prompt is actually, it has your initial prompt, summarize the emails I received last week, but also all your emails of last week, right? This is what Copilot is seeing. And then with all this information, Copilot will allow the LLM to answer, but based on this augmented and grounded prompt. But the thing here is that in this, here we are talking about extensibility. So this works pretty fine. This works, all this process, this data flow works pretty fine with all your internal information, all your information within Microsoft ecosystem. But sometimes we want to not just allow Copilot to provide me information based on my internal information, but sometimes I want to expand the possibilities of Copilot. Is that possible? Yes, it is. It is in many different ways that we are explaining in this course. So we can use plugins, like for example, go to Bing. So in order to perform this second step of grounding, this grounding step here, which is in here. So the internal information is not enough. And we want Copilot to also to gather information in real time from the web, right? So we can do that. We can extend the Copilot functionalities, going beyond the boundary, and then use different tools like plugins, different tools like, for example, agents, connectors, Dataverse, and Power Platform, and more to expand the Copilot capabilities. And with this, I believe and I hope that you have a better understanding of how Copilot works and also about the extensibility options. Now, let me ask you an important question. Which path for extensibility should you choose? Your first decision is whether to extend Microsoft 365 Copilot by using the existing orchestrator to build a declarative agent, or whether to use your own custom orchestrator to build a custom engine agent. So, extend Microsoft 365 Copilot if any of the following apply. First, you want to build a service on top of Microsoft 365 Copilot utilizing Copilot's model and orchestrator. Or you have previously built an API plugin so that you can now plug it into your agent. Or you have prior experience in building a Teams message extension so that you can just update it as a plugin. Another option is to build a custom agent. Pick this path if any of the following apply. You want to use specific models, either LLMs, large language models, or small language models, SLMs, for your service. Or you need agentic AI support. Or you want your service to be independent from Microsoft 365 Copilot and also accessible to all Microsoft 365 users, regardless of their Copilot licensing status. As we are discussing in this course, extending Microsoft 365 Copilot for enterprise users offers several benefits. It integrates your service with the Microsoft ecosystem, boosts employee productivity with AI solutions, provides a personalized user experience using Microsoft Graph, and utilizes RAG, retrieval augmented generation data sources like Graph connectors, SharePoint, or Dataverse. I'm sure this is going to be one of the main solutions that companies are going to embrace. I'm talking about the well-known declarative agents, which are designed to enhance the user experience by allowing the creation of personalized chat experiences to provide tailored interaction and responses, with a similar look and feel with Microsoft Copilot interface in business chat, also as one-to-one chat in Teams. Build a declarative agent if you want a specific agent for particular tasks and domain knowledge. But when and why to use declarative agents? Layer on top of the full capability of Microsoft 365 Copilot. Scenario that requires focus or specialization or scope to specific data sources including domain knowledge, or custom instructions to enable nuanced interpretation of data received from sources like plugins and connectors. But maybe, for some reasons, declarative agents are not enough to meet your needs. But no worries, because with Azure AI services, you can craft a custom AI chatbot for Teams and Microsoft 365 applications. If you are seeking a custom bot solution on Teams chat, then building your own agents is the perfect fit for you. Custom engine agents are based on bring your own model premise. With custom engine agents, your agent is entirely independent of Microsoft 365 Copilot, including the LLM and the orchestrator. This diagram provides a comparison between Copilot agents, connectors, plugins, and declarative agents, and building custom engine agents. By using custom engine agents, you can achieve deterministic workflows, custom citations, and authoritative sources to the responses, and tenant-specific intent. Another way to decide the best option is to base it on your development capabilities. Here, we have three main options. The first approach is simple and it uses no-code or low-code solutions. It leverages Microsoft Graph, external APIs, and SharePoint to provide insights and actions within Microsoft 365 Copilot. Regarding declarative agents, we can use low-code or pro-code solutions. It allows for a tailored experience for specific use cases by introducing generative AI assistant in existing applications. And finally, the third approach, build your own custom engine agent. It is more complex and uses pro-code solutions, offering a fully customized solution with direct control over the model parameters and behaviors, supporting multiple data sources and also models. If we choose a no-code or low-code option, definitely Copilot Studio is our tool. But if we prefer coding, we can use the Teams Toolkit or directly all the resources within Azure AI Foundry, for example, and the different Visual Studio Code libraries. Do you want to know how companies are using Microsoft 365 Copilot and the extensibility options? For example, KPMG prides themselves as being innovative in bringing the latest technology and capabilities for their clients and their employees. KPMG needed to ensure a safe environment is maintained for over 2,000 organizations in Australia and over 100,000 organizations globally to report their ESG information. KPMG Australia looked to Copilot to help keep pace with exponential volume increase, and they developed an agent that allows users to input a document to Teams and select a set of standards to compare against with Copilot, as well as create a summary. Air India built an agent that converses with AI in Microsoft Teams, so they can receive insights to enhance efficiency, reduce cost, and ensure a seamless customer experience. With this innovative agent, Air India has unlocked unprecedented operational insights, fostered a culture of proactive AI-enhanced collaboration and also decision-making, and marked a new chapter in the airline's transformative journey. Remember, Copilot is built with Microsoft comprehensive approach and a strong Microsoft 365 foundation to security, governance, compliance, and privacy. On top of that, we'll layer our approach to responsible AI. Regarding security, a common concern customers have is whether Copilot will give users access to content that they previously didn't have access to. The answer is no, never. Copilot honors your existing permissions and policies for data access. Also, your sensitive data is protected. When Copilot is used to create new outputs, the outputs will inherit the labels of the source content, which makes it easy to protect that document and that content with existing DLP policies. For more advanced security scenarios that require blocking or restricting risky access, organizations can take advantage of Microsoft's risk-based conditional access and endpoint management. Now let's talk about governance and compliance. Not everyone has their data governance program in perfect order, so restricted SharePoint search allows you to create a list of sites which are ready to benefit from the power of Copilot and generative AI. Then you can use a variety of capabilities built into SharePoint, such as data governance reports, to assess and plan your readiness for broader deployment using controls in SharePoint and additional governance capabilities of Microsoft Purview. Purview can also help you detect Copilot usage that is out of compliance with regulations and corporate policies, then launch and manage investigations to keep controls compliance with AI regulations. Now regarding privacy, with Copilot you are in total control of your data. Your data is encrypted at rest and in transit, and Microsoft does not use your data to train the foundational large language model used by Copilot. You also control your data's location with data residency for data at rest, and customers in the European Union data boundary terms provide contractual commitments for storing and processing customers' data within the European Union. Last but not least, we provide commercial data protection for web-grounded prompts that pull in the latest data from the web to provide better informed responses. Commercial data protection means that we have no eyes on access, we don't save prompts, and we don't use the data to train any model. And finally, regarding responsible AI, we understand the power of AI and its potential to reshape the world. We develop our products with a long-term commitment to responsible AI in mind. To this end, we think about how we address the risks associated with AI. This includes a wide variety of assessments about our systems, their groundness, relevance, similarity with input sources, information integrity, and of course, direct and indirect threats, like prompt injection that may lead to jailbreaks. We are also thoughtful about the policies and practices we use based on the lessons we have learned to safely deploy AI solutions, especially in cases where it is foreseeable that AI could have a consequential impact on an individual or a group. And finally, we continue to grow and evolve our practices around the use of AI to ensure that as it evolves, we evolve with it. This is not a new commitment. In fact, we have been investing in responsible AI for over 8 years now. Wow, we've learned a lot together. Choosing the right path and approach to extending Microsoft 365 Copilot can be a challenging decision. In this module, we have provided a comprehensive overview of the different extensibility options, including using declarative agents, custom engine agents, plugins, and connectors. By understanding the specific needs and goals of your projects, you can now make informed decisions on whether to use the existing orchestrator or build a custom engine agent. Keep exploring these powerful Copilot solutions to unlock new opportunities and achieve your goals.